Welcome, friends, to the Beaver Dam and to this damn fine discussion. It's been a while. It's good to have you back. Matt, how are you doing, my friend?
Oh, I'm busy as a beaver, but I'm really good. I'm happy to be back, and then we've got a lot of SWGOH news to talk about.
Yes, and we'll be we'll be jumping into a lot of news today, but we do have kind of a major topic that we want to talk about even while we are having a stroke. And that is going to be, is this the best time to be playing Galaxy of Heroes? Is this, the best time to return? If you left during the Revan times, is it good a time to come back?
Or is it the worst of times?
If you believe Reddit, then yes.
Well, there's only one way to truly know, and that is to watch this entire video all the way through.
Yes, absolutely. So make sure you watch to the end, because there's a secret surprise at the very end. And it may involve kissing.
Whoa, stop trying to fast forward. I see you.
Sorry. Yep.
I see you. Hey, you. Stop. I see you trying to fast forward. Wait. Be patient.
I think you're supposed to say that at the end, when you're like, we're at the end, and then we'll be like, hey, you, stop fast forwarding, go back.
But anyways, I took a little bit of a break, mainly because life got busy, but also because certain things in the game were tiring me out just a little bit. And I took about 2 months off, and it feels like a really good time to come back. So we have some positives, we have some negatives that we want to highlight, and we'll give our final thoughts after we go through kind of all of those positives and negatives of how good of the state is the game in right now. Sound like a plan?
Yeah, sounds like a plan to me. Are we in the state of Ohio, or are we in somewhere nice like Alaska? We'll decide that state at the very end. So why don't you start us off with what's going on right now? I want to hear from your point of view, having no idea how good the Pirates are right now because you just came back. What's the news?
So let me give a little bit of context. So I stopped for a bit right after Order 66 came out. The last pirate to get released was just Captain Athano. So we only had Captain Athano. Quiggled was about to come out. Okay. And then I took some time off, and now I've just come back earlier this week when right after Vane's marquee event ended, because I didn't quite get Vane, unfortunately. But whatever, I'm a few shards behind. To me, because I only was vaguely paying attention to things going on in the game, it seems like pirates are really not doing all that much. It seems like they're fine in the Order 66 raid. It seems like they're getting their score, but it doesn't sound like we have anything too special going on. I've heard this next character, it's Captain Silvo, is supposed to be looking pretty strong, but it sounds like I really didn't miss a whole lot.
No, it's not like Inquisitors. Like when Inquisitors were coming out, every single one was a letdown. This is more of each one of these feels really filled with potential, and we can beat something like a gas, and with what we have now. But it looks really busted if we get a good leader. And so weird that we're getting the leaders this late. You don't get Maz or Hondo until the end of everything, but
I want to do a comparison of this to Gungans, because I was paying attention while Gungans were coming out, right? Mm-hmm. And Boss Nass solo could actually do a couple things. Yeah. And then as we got, let's see, I think it was Captain Tarpals was added second, if I remember correctly, and then Bombardier, and then Phalanx.
Yeah. Yep, Phalanx last.
If I remember correctly. And every time we would add one more, it felt like these puzzle pieces were coming together, and we were figuring out what this team was going to look like. And it feels like when we didn't get the leader first, because we got all these other characters first, we got SM33, who's very clearly needs a pirate leader. It feels like we're just playing catch up more so, and that we're missing this central figure the entire time, and it feels really bad, it completely disregarding the fact that I don't think pirates are gaining as much hype. Just it feels bad to try to build towards this when you don't have that central piece that you really need.
It feels almost like they should have done SM33 second and Moz first, so we'd have at least one good
100%.
leader to like really kick this off. But I mean, I gotta say, we've said it from the beginning. We're gonna continue to say it. I think that Pirates was not the plan for this time of year. I think we were looking at like some Acolyte content or something that had to get scrapped. And that Pirates got pushed either by Disney or just by the scrapping of Acolyte content. And so,
I honestly wish, as I'm having a stroke, as somebody who's really not that big of a fan of Acolyte, I wish they hadn't done this. I wish they would have just committed and said, you know what, Acolyte maybe is not going to sell that well, but it's better than freaking Quiggled.
How dare you? Quiggled someone's passion project.
I'm sorry, but Captain Athano and Quiggled, you're never going to get me excited about them. And I'm not even saying that they're not decent characters or whatever. Like, I'll probably farm them at some point. I farmed a Riot, and I didn't want to do that. But I don't know. It feels so out of place. And I'm just glad we're finally moving on from it. And I'm optimistic about what the future holds.
Yeah, and like, I think that's a big thing right now is a lot of people are speculating about what the next era is going to be, whether it's going to be Force Awakens for the 10-year anniversary. I'm hoping for like a Lifter era, honestly. I know a lot of people talked about a GL ship era as well. Regardless, it needs to be something people are excited about. Force Awakens just doesn't excite me. I don't know what could be exciting, but the Pirates are kind of a letdown, and Hondo's extra stuff that he comes with aren't making people happy either. So
yes, yeah, we should probably talk about that for a bit, because no one is really happy with triple drops locked behind having a brand new GL.
Yeah, like all the people who are going for Hondo are endgame players. They don't need the double and triple drops. Like, what am I?
I'm sure they appreciate having a little bit, but
yeah, like I get some more signal data, I guess, if I were to go for Hondo. But like at my point in my account, I don't need it.
Yeah, 100%. It's just sometimes they make decisions like this, and I'm like, with the different levers you have as CG behind the scenes, right? You can kind of activate different things to, if you've ever played a dating sim game, I'm gonna use this metaphor. You usually have like,
so excited to hear this. Tell us all about all of the dating sims that you've played.
I think I've played like 2 dating sims.
Sure, sure. Not 72. Your whole Steam library is just dating sims, I'm sure.
Don't look at my Steam library, okay? Like relationship management games or other things, like usually have like these multiple bars and you're trying to keep them somewhat even, right? Like maybe it's like or like a pet care game or whatever, like you have like their health and their hunger and their water.
Could have gone for Tamagotchi or literally anything.
That's a great example.
Went straight for dating sims.
I am on like 3 hours of sleep, okay? So
staying up too late playing, what is that game called? Date Everything, where you can date your couch.
Shh, don't expose my secrets. So anyways, you have to keep your couch watered, hungry, and loved. And if you don't keep your couch watered, fed, and loved, then your couch will divorce you. So CG has these different levers that they can pull, and they have to keep a solid revenue stream. So they have to release packs and lightspeed bundles and gotcha mechanics, like these things that generate them revenue, right? And then they have balance and like game integrity, quality of life changes, things like that to keep the game running, server changes, all that stuff. It costs money to do, but you also need them to keep the game modern and moving forward. And then you have like community sentiment, right? These are the 3 bars you have to kind of work with. And double drops and triple drops has usually been a lever that they'll push in order to kind of build up that community sentiment. Hopefully this point has gone somewhere. Now it seems like they're using that as a bar to try to drive revenue. And it really is like, one, as a business-minded person, I'm like, that's not a good revenue stream. Like, you're not going to sell a lot with double and triple drops by gating it behind Hondo, because now you've limited your target market down to a very slim top end of people that don't need this as much. The demand for the product is not nearly as high. Whereas if you'd left it just open-ended, like, I know a ton of people that usually drop 10 or 20 bucks in crystals or in the energy packs or whatever whenever double or triple drops comes around, because it feels like, oh, I might as well. I mean, I'm going to get a bunch more out of this. So it really just baffles me from both a business like revenue standpoint and from a community sentiment standpoint. That was a really long way for me to get to that point.
Yeah, from every perspective, I feel like it was just kind of a weird decision on their part with the Relic 3 additive drops and everything happening with like the double drop triple. It just feels, I don't know, like maybe it's pushed from the top or something, but it doesn't feel like typical CG. It feels less smart on trying to get people revenue. So I don't know.
Yeah, it really, it's just a confusing decision. I'm not really all that upset about it though, honestly, because I wasn't really expecting double or triple drops at all. And so it's not like I'm losing out on anything. Although I know people that pay attention to the data mine saw it earlier, but I don't think saw that it was conditional upon Hondo as early as maybe it was put in. I don't know. But you're not really losing anything, even though it seems like it's manufactured FOMO, which is a lot of what this game does.
Yeah, 100%. Pirates, like, I don't know, if they had increased the drop rate for like the Relic 3 drops that we're getting right now, I think that this could have become a thing that becomes more of like stuff that people are excited for, but it's really bad drop rates, and like it's
even
it happened.
Even if the drop rates were normal, I don't see it pushing a lot of people to go for it. These additive drops, like I know very few people that are going for these new characters that don't go for every new character, if that makes sense. Whereas in the last era, I knew a lot of people that were going to get Darkside clones regardless of whether they normally go for characters or not. You know what I mean? Like, they were like, I'm gonna make an exception and go for these Darkside clones, even though I normally don't go for brand new characters like this. And it was enough to get people excited, and I think people love the Darkside clones now. So it's the Pirate era is bad, but also having it right after a really solid era, in my opinion, makes it seem even worse, because in comparison to what we just had, it's pretty bad.
Yeah, it really is kind of rough. But like, would you say it's the worst time in CG's history?
Not even close, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, there has been numerous times that have been much worse. Yeah, I mean, you can, I don't know, you can maybe pick one of your favorite worst times in SWGOH history. But for me, when Jedi Knight Revan first came out, it felt terrible to play the game, especially as I was 100% free to play back then. And I just remember all these Jedi Knight Revans popping up in my arena shard, and remember crystals were tied to your arena shard, and is every single day dropping by hundreds of places. And I used to be like pretty close to the top with my solid CLS team, and then just Jedi Knight Revan comes in and just absolutely crushed everything I was doing. And I was like, there's no way I'm going to get these characters, because at the time everything was one drop farm, and it would take forever to farm them, and gear was, we didn't have the gear changes, we didn't have simmable Galactic War, I don't think, at the time.
We also didn't have the raid changes, which has been like one of the greatest gear changes to the game.
100%. So every time you got a raid, you were hoping you got the gear piece you needed, and if you didn't, well, do another raid. And if you didn't get that one, time for another raid.
I
and it was just
recently
like,
ran out of material that like I literally use on like no characters. That's all left over from those old raids. So that's just like,
yeah.
I had like 700 of these, and like I just don't use them on characters. So
it ended up benefiting me a ton because I got to scrap a ton of it. Like everyone talks about like the bronzium wiring and electrium conductor grind, and it's like I literally never had that because I had so much gear from back then, and I only recently found myself being like, wait, I'm actually starting to run low on my scrap for this stuff.
Yeah, I think the Revan era is probably the most cited era for people coming back to the game nowadays, where they're like, hey, I recently came back to the game and I'm wondering what I should do for a roster review. It's like the number one most cited time is like, yeah, I left during the Revan era, because it was just the most pay to win. You either had Revan or you couldn't get crystals, you couldn't compete, you were just screwed.
Well, again, it completely stopped your progression basically.
And by locking Squad Arena to crystals, that was terrible at the time. And like, I'm so glad they moved in the Grand Arena because it feels a lot more plausible to get crystals. And you know,
well, and there was even people that got upset about that, and there's people that left the game because of that.
Yep. And there's the great nerf, which affected GAC so heavily around that time too. And that was another big sighting of like, oh, this is where a lot of people quit because they could no longer kill Galactic Legends with their non-Galactic Legend teams.
Yep. And then Datacron's coming out. Caused a lot of people to leave. And
then the
honestly,
Dodgetron right after that. Like,
yep. And now we almost never get Dodge in Datacrons.
Which is a good thing.
Which is a very good thing.
Yeah.
So, like, maybe it feels bad because right now you're not getting the things that you want in the game. But I think this is by far not even close to the worst time to play SWGOH.
I mean, I remember when I started in 2021, the only thing that really kept me going, because you don't get anything from level 1 to 85, and it was like 3 months to get through level 1 to 85.
Yep.
And like, you've got nothing going on. You can't even farm Geos to get yourself into a good guild because Geo Brood Alpha's locked to level 83. Like, you're like kind of screwed out of everything. And being able to work on anything back then, and everything the gear was 1 drop. You know, characters were double drop farmable, but raids were still in their old way. The only way to get Relic 8 materials was to go to a C-Pit guild. I almost quit the game when I tried to find a C-Pit guild because the community was so toxic about C-Pit guilds. And like, it was awful time to play the game. And then compared to now, like, you know, I had a free-to-play account that got to level 85 before the change, and I was like, got a Savage the day I hit level 85 up to Relic 5 with the Omicron and everything. I was like, this is awesome. Like, the raid changes have been incredible. So much of the game has changed to a point where it's getting much, much better.
Well, and I have I'm not active on my free-to-play accounts right now, but I've been monitoring my Discord where we have our free-to-play guilds that are running, and it just seems like for the free-to-play accounts, people are having a lot of fun with the free-to-play accounts because these lightspeed tokens are actually really helpful for free-to-play. I know some people are upset that you don't get the higher tier ones, or that we feel like you should get more of them or whatever, but this is the first rollout of it, so maybe they'll change it in the future, but it's more than what we were getting before. And so getting that like free 3-star gear 10, or what is it for the bronzium or the free track one, it's 3-star gear 10, 4-star gear 12,
something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, I just pulled it up on my screen. 4-star gear 12, but yeah, I mean, that's better, like a free gear 12 for completing the episode pass. Yes, maybe the episode pass needs to be a little bit easier to complete for
free to play.
Free to play. But like, there's a lot of things that are going well. Yes, they could be going better, but they're implemented in the game. Relicking at lower stars, I think the lightspeed tokens, episode pass compared to galactic challenges, like just little things in just the last year that we've gotten that I think are really improving the state of the game.
Yeah, and I think that It's interesting to see, in a weird way, how much money has come as well. Because it used to be like, you know, a week of playing was $200 worth of gear. And that was like the way that you could do it. And so like $200 could only push you forward a week, essentially. Whereas nowadays you can spend a little and get a light speed bundle. You can spend $10 and get a hyperdrive bundle. You can spend $20 and get yourself an era pass, and that's going to give you a whole bunch of value as well, or an episode pass. And like, I feel like they've definitely, if you're willing to spend a little bit of money, you can go a long way as well. And so that may not be something that a lot of people appreciate, but I definitely appreciate it, because I remember spending like $20 now and again when I was having a bad day, and this was the only game that really made me happy. And the only thing that made me happy during my day, I'd like spend $20 and like go up a gear level. And then like nowadays it's like I spend $20 and I get a light speed bundle. Like,
no, 100%. I remember being in high school and I would ask for Google Play gift cards for Christmas or for my birthday, and I'd go spend $100 on it, and it'd be like, wow, I really did not advance much at all. And it felt really bad. So like, even the aspects of this game that I'm not the biggest fan of, like spending money, like the fact that we have to spend money in this game, and it's like, at least they're even improving on that. And I think they're seeing good results revenue wise, because when you don't have to spend $200 to catch up a week, and it feels like, oh, I can actually get value out of my $20, well, maybe I am willing to throw 20 here and there to try to make that extra progress.
Yeah, 100%. And so like, I don't know, every part of the game, and I think the great nerf is like, it's like, you know, every decision that any government makes, you need to give it time before you can really judge it for what it truly affects. Because I think the great nerf was what saved this game. Because you look at a game like Marvel Strike Force, and Marvel Strike Force is, you're constantly chasing the meta, you don't have the newest character, you're screwed. You're just done. You can't compete. The moment I got my Web Warriors done, they had announced a new bio team that was better than the Web Warriors, and I no longer had a reason to have my Web Warriors. It's in this game, it would be the same thing. Nowadays, you don't have to go for Hondo. Who cares about Hondo? I'm not going for Hondo. I'm going for JMK, who came out years ago. Because that's what's more efficient for my roster. It's going to help my GAC more. It's going to get me more crystals. So I'm going for JMK, and I love that. And the great nerf is what caused that. It made the GLs the top level Apex Predators, and established a meta that's not toxic, that we can have a rock paper scissors fight at the top, and then have, you know, something to have a ceiling for. And so I think they did a great job with that.
It's not toxic unless they release an absolutely busted Datacron for a GL.
Yes, this is the first time in a long time I felt like there's been a toxic meta. This
is going to bring me to my big negative. One of the things that really, it was one of the reasons I was like, I got to take a little break.
It made me almost consider like stopping GAC as well. Like I dreaded doing GAC streams for like a solid week straight.
This Ray, Darkseid, and this Hodocron are way too strong. The fact that SWGOH has 2 counters and neither of them is super reliable. I mean, if you do the JMK battle right, it's pretty reliable, but still it can go wrong, and the Bane battle is really hit or miss in my opinion.
And if you want either of them to have like a stable win rate, you have to use the Hodocron, which is wild. Yes,
you have to use the Hodocron with JMK, and then you're losing out on the other greatest defensive team, which is Ray and Hezra with that Kron. And it's just like, who tested these? And the answer is probably nobody.
And who thought that the Krennic Kron would be a good idea to have the support Kron built in when it's obviously just going to go to Quad Me?
Yeah, very clearly. And so the focus Datacrons, I actually really liked the first couple sets that we got of them. And this set right now is better than the last one, but they've got to be careful with them.
Yeah.
Because when a team only, it reminds me of when Glat first came out in Territory Wars. And I don't know if you guys experienced this in Territory Wars. I was in a pretty serious Territory War guild at the time. Or when Great Mothers came out in Territory Wars.
Or when the Mace Omi, where Arnold admitted, and he was like, dude, this is the first time top end guilds have given up on walls, was when the Mace Omi came out. It was just like, yeah, it was just, there's nothing for it.
I think I have a screenshot of our great mothers with one had like 69 and the other had like 72 holds. And it's like, this isn't fun for anyone. When you have teams that are literally unbeatable, it is not enjoyable for anybody. And so, like, my word of caution for CG, because they clearly listen to me, is
they listen to everything you say.
Just be careful with the focus datacrons. Maybe dedicate a little bit more testing just to make sure they're nice and polished. The stats don't have to be crazy on them if the effects are good. And if the effects are good, it'll keep it with specific characters. And then you don't have to worry so much about people pulling it to other teams. I even would be okay if the stats got scaled back if you didn't have the characters that were required for the FTC.
I'd like that a lot.
I really am not a fan of these huge stat crons because they're massive stat boosts getting thrown onto really strong teams already. And then it's just like, this was not even made for you, but you're just benefiting because the stats are crazy.
Yeah, like the Wampacron has what, 100% offense and 100% crit damage? Like that's
insane. So like, even if you didn't have Wampa, which who doesn't have Wampa, you would still want to level up that Cron because those stats on any team, that put that on a CLS team, your CLS will hit like a truck.
Yeah, who's using the Rolocron right now for anything that's Rolo base?
Yeah, you put it on another team because you want the stats, because the stats on it are freaking crazy.
The stats are crazy, and that base level of level 3 where it makes everyone assist is wild on every single team. Like, I feel like something breaking down here, because like there's some great buffs that are really cool. Like, I loved the Jawa-Cron, and I still do. Like, nothing gives me more joy than going up against a Luthen team with that Jawa-Cron, because the Luthen team ends up with like 46 thermal detonators and just dies. Or you can kill off a Leia team, and Leia's the only one left standing at the end. Like, those type of Crons tickle me pink. The Wampa-Cron beating Jabba and Leia, I'm loving it.
People love the solo Crons.
Yeah.
The Sidious Cron, the Boba Cron, the Dad Bod Boba Cron, which was a 2-man, not a solo, but
that's called like a duo.
Yes, we call it a 2-man where I come from. And like, people love those. And people will spend the resources to go upgrade them because there's a lot of value in those. And so I'd love to see more of that. I'd love to see like you said, the Jawa one, which takes a team that you would normally not have a use for and then makes them usable. Now, if they're not going off and killing everything in the game, but they're usable, like, those are the things I kind of love. I really don't love GLs getting these FTCs.
I think it's just especially the level 15 ones. The level 15 ones are just way too much. And like even the level 9 ones, like I don't know, I think it's a slippery slope. I've never liked the idea of GLs getting Crons to begin with. To add in focus Datacrons where they're already like a higher extent of power level, I almost feel like all of them should have like a no GL addendum to all focus Datacrons, just to prevent things like this from happening again.
Yes, because, it's meta right now.
Yeah, like I already don't like the fleet meta, and now the fleets are the only thing I can play right now because I can't get through anyone's bottom wall.
Yep. Yeah, and it doesn't. This Datacron set's a little bit better. We'll see what the next one holds. But I'm hopefully optimistic that, because this one's a little bit better than the last, that they're learning their lesson and improving upon it. Other good things coming up. We have the anniversary coming up soon, as well as this new big update that they've been teasing for a while. Do we have a date on that yet? Did I miss them? They just
said near the end of the year, and so I'm assuming probably around the anniversary, or maybe beginning of December, somewhere in that area. I'm hoping they do it somewhere near the like November area, so that way they have room to fiddle with some stuff if anything's broken before they go on vacation at the end of December, like they usually do. So
Hopefully. But also just knowing timetables, I wouldn't be surprised to see that get pushed to early next year. Because things never get done on time anywhere.
Yeah.
And then the other thing that I think is going well is Order 66. It actually, I like Order 66 more than I thought I would. I was pretty cautiously optimistic for it. I was hopeful that it was going to be at least some decent mechanics, that we'd have some viability with some lower tier teams. And when they first made that post that they're like, we're looking at possibly adjusting undermans, I was really nervous.
Yeah, that was like a big danger, like red flag for me. And then they were like, nope.
But then they said we're not touching it. So I'm really happy with where I'm able to score. I took my Scorch and my Tarkin to Relic 9. So I got my 3.6 million there. And then I just kind of clean up with some other teams for some lower scores. But all in all, I'm pretty happy with Order 66. It's less time consuming than Naboo. It doesn't feel as annoying as Naboo or RNG dependent. The characters that we use, I really like.
Instead of having like really rough times on tier 0 and tier 1 like we did with the Naboo, we're seeing like Hondo can solo at like gear 12, the first tier. We're seeing low gear Bad Batch taking on the first tier. We're seeing Nest soloing the first tier, which was a light speed bundle. And so like a lot of this stuff like feels pretty good. Tarkin soloing the first tier. Everyone has a Tarkin that either had Sith Eternal Lightspeed bundles or Lord Vader Lightspeed bundles, or went for Sith Eternal, which is a lot of people that followed like, you know, Arnold's farming guide back in the day. And so like, I don't know, I was really worried initially, and I am not anymore. Like free-to-play guilds can access this fairly easily, and it's not like Endor level of like accessible, but it's up there.
But I think both of my the free-to-play guilds that I helped start are now running Order 66, and they're getting first crate on them. I believe both are now, and one of them is like a year-ish old, maybe a little over that, and so not very high GP accounts. I'm really curious to see. I haven't gotten a chance to really dive in depth with them as far as what the low star relic teams are doing like, and how maybe that progression could go, and how easy that would be or how hard that might be. But it seems like they're able to do decently well, and obviously that Get 3 is really, or that Mark 3 raid currency is really important. So that's in a really good spot, and yeah, I'm optimistic for where we're going. So I think that brings us back to our central question, which is now the best time to start playing? What do you think, Beaver?
I think that yeah. I was gonna say right before the SLK Archon came out and everything, maybe would probably be the best of timed. But like, to be honest, that even now, like if you were to come back to the game, unless you were coming back in an end game account, I think now would be the best time to come back regardless of your account size, unless you're an end game account, in which case you might be upset about the SLK Archon for the next month and then it's gone, you know?
Yeah.
So regardless of GP, new player, I think we're in the best spot it's been ever.
I will put it this way and say that I think that CG is on the precipice of creating a really great new player experience, but they're not quite there yet.
That is what I'm hoping most out of that update is just a little tweak to the new player experience, and I think we could see a huge resurgence of new players coming in the game.
I really don't even know exactly what it needs to look like, but I feel like there just needs to be a little bit more, and I'd be willing to say this is the best time to start an account. I think right now, if you did, you'd basically be hitting level 85 around the time we're getting this new update and all these new changes. So you might be in a really good spot, but it remains to be seen. So I'm really optimistic. I think CG is going to hit it, going to nail it at the end of this year, because I really think they're learning from the mistakes. they've made a lot, and you could even argue that they're still making some with this era and all of that. But I really do think just as we've been watching, they've been actually listening and implementing feedback. And not to everything, obviously. There's still issues in the game, but the episode pass, people originally got upset about it, and they made changes to it to make it better. And lightspeed bundles became a problem because they were coming out too fast. They went to lightspeed tokens, and it's I think a really good medium to that. And I just think they're listening to feedback and are actually going in a really solid direction.
And I think that they've made enough money off of lightspeed bundles and us starting to interact with the episode pass and that kind of stuff that like it's looking up. Like you look at Marvel Strike Force and other similar games, and they're all going down in revenue each month, and they're slowly dying. Whereas Galaxy of Heroes was in the same boat, and then lightspeed bundles hit, and then all of a sudden they jumped their revenue almost 50%. And we're seeing them putting in effort because they have the ability to now, where we're seeing them redo the new player experience, like top to bottom, and we're seeing more stuff coming in for that type of thing. And it's a huge indicator of them staying around and not trying to squeeze every last penny out of us before they leave. Like that's a very good indicator that they are, actually trying to make this a good experience. And so I think that if they were to make some good solid changes in this next update for the new player experience, just a couple tweaks, we could be seeing like they start up ad campaigns again. We could see a huge influx of new players. I would not be surprised, and we'd have like an actual jump in a large jump in player base versus
or like if CG wants to do some sponsored content. I mean, I know two guys who host a podcast together that might be willing to take a CG sponsorship to promote the game. Just saying.
Yeah, 100%. And then it wouldn't be these weird ads that are 2 years old on CG's stuff pulling out being like, oh, it's the 8-year anniversary. It's like, that's 2 years ago, buddy. Or like, hey, here's a synergistic team. Every time one of them pops up on Troopers on Break's social media, he always sends it to me. And he's just like, look at this synergy. And it's like Sith Trooper with Jedi. And it's like, yeah, okay, what are these ads? Or it's like some random girl who's obviously never like watched a Star Wars movie going, oh my gosh, I just got Darth Vader and he seems powerful. And it's like, CG, you're killing me. I could be sitting here going, guys, Darth Revan is in this game. We may not be getting KOTOR anytime soon, but bruh, you can get Darth Revan right now.
Yeah, CG, just release Darth Vitiate and you'll get everybody back.
Yeah.
Honestly, and Vitiate and Revan Reborn, and we'll all come back, and it'll be the Fry from Futurama meme of "take my money."
Yeah, shut up and take my money. Gosh. Quick side note: lightspeed bundles are coming. Save your money. Get ready.
Yes,
they are coming. It happened last year. I made a video 6 months ago saying, "Hey guys, start saving up your money because they're coming back because it's May the 4th," and they did that last year. Sure enough, it happened. We got more lightspeed bundles. It's gonna happen again. More lightspeed bundles. Returning of lightspeed bundles. 2025 is the year that CG tries to catch all of us up to new content, so we start spending on new content. So they're coming.
Correct. Yes, and this may be, if you want my speculation, this may be the last lightspeed bundles for a while. If you ask me, I think maybe a couple more to get us caught up to Naboo stuff that maybe people missed. But I really don't think there's a ton more that they're going to do. Because I don't think we're getting anything for Ahsoka. JKCK is probably going to get one here shortly. Bo-Katan Mandalore might get one here shortly. And then after that, our list of things that we're missing that is basically just stuff that's come out recently. I mean, the most recent thing would be Jar Jar, so maybe we get some Naboo stuff, but
mini JMK one, like we have 7 of our GLs have lightspeed bundles, and JMK has most of his stuff in lightspeed bundles. We might get a mini JMK. As for like other ones, like you said, like JKCK, Mommy Mando, Gungans, that's really all that we have left.
Yeah, we're getting close to just, if you got them, you're probably caught up. And obviously we'll probably see some C3PO 2 bundles and Old the Republic 2 bundles and whatnot to try to get some more money out of people. But I think Lightspeed tokens is where they're going now. And I really think that's a happy medium, because I think that the progression of the Lightspeed bundles coming out as fast as they were is not sustainable. And but you also don't want to take that opportunity away from people. So I'm pretty happy with that happy medium. I know some people are not quite as happy with it.
I liked the tank one. I think that was really, really smart and really, really good. Like selling the Imperial Remnant. You might have missed that while you were gone, but they sold a Lightspeed token that was just any tank, and I'm like, I like that. That's actually really dope. Versus like
any tank in the game at all?
Yeah, just any tank.
Other than like brand new ones?
Yeah, before the era system, any tank. And so like a lot of people bought that and just threw it on Paz Vizsla and got themselves a good head start towards Mommy Mandalore. And so like
I did not see that.
Yeah, it was a really solid Lightspeed token. I think those ones should be the ones that we see for sale. You know, sure, the episode pass give us like Imperial Remnant right now and keep swapping that out to different factions, sure. But like I think giving us more generalized ones like a random attacker or a random tank, things like that, I think those are really, really solid, because it fills in the holes where you didn't get a Lightspeed bundle. Because like it always feels like, I don't want to spend $15 for one character when I could buy a Lightspeed bundle for like $30 and get like 10. But like if I can just buy that $15 and it's one of the ones that I can't get from a Lightspeed bundle, or I don't know when that Lightspeed bundle's coming back, it feels a lot better.
Yeah, like Hoth Rebel Scout is one that I would love to throw a token onto, because I haven't had a chance to gear him up for my Rebel fighters, but the turn meter train he can help run is really great. So dang, I'm kind of bummed I missed that tank one. I would have liked to throw that on Paz, or maybe my Clone Wars Chewie.
Yeah, gotta get that Clone Wars Chewie up.
No, I was just looking at my tanks, and it's like the only tanks I don't have geared are Clone Wars Chewie, Paz, and then like all the new ones. So it's like, would I really have gotten value out of that other than just throw it on Paz?
Yeah, but, I looked at it and I was like, this is really good for other people, but for me, like, well, let's see, what are my tanks looking like? I like Wrecker is a new character, so it doesn't count. Yeah, I could throw it on Scion, Stormtrooper Han, Clone Wars Chewie, or Jedi Knight Guardian. Like, my options are not good.
Scion's not a bad one to throw it on.
Yeah, I almost always use Vader instead of Scion and have zero problems, and like honestly have better like battles because of it.
Well, you want to use Vader with his Kron right now because of how good it is.
It's so good. I was really hoping for the return of the Infidab, and like that time where Vader could solo like every single GL. That was so great. But unfortunately, no, we got a crap Datacron, so.
We do a segment on this show called Guild Shoutout. So the guild we're going to be shouting out today is called Avoid Guild Drama. This guild is a wonderful guild. I think everyone should join this guild. But Beaver's going to tell us more about it.
We had a guild shoutout and it fell through because the guild fell apart. So avoid guild drama, guys. This is a game.
Yeah. Find a good guild, and by a good guild I mean a guild with good people in it. I left a guild shortly before I took this break and went and joined a guild that was getting better rewards, because I was like, I'm not really happy with how fast I'm progressing. I really want to make sure I'm doing well with the new raid that's coming out. And I joined this new guild and it just was kind of miserable, and I was like, dang, I shouldn't have left the guild I had that was actually good. Who cares if I'm getting worse rewards? So if you have a good guild, just remember that's a really valuable thing. We say it all the time, but the community is the reason most of us play this game. I don't understand how people play this game without having community and being around other people that enjoy it, because it's just so much more fun that way.
Yo. Next up, we have our character spotlight. And you know, let's see, we have here CG, release a good character and maybe we'll actually do
I forgot I put that in there.
No, we wanted to do one, but we knew we had a lot of news today, and so we're like, we're not gonna go over a character necessarily today, but you know,
but if you guys have a character that you maybe don't understand, that you're struggling to find out where to use them, throw it in the comments. We'll maybe we'll spotlight them in the future, give you some ideas of some teams you can use them in, how to mod them, all that good stuff. If you should even farm them.
Yeah. Maybe you'll throw in a character and just like, don't. Just don't.
Jedi Knight Guardian. How do I mod her and should I use her? No.
Tarful. Yeah.
Okay, don't diss on my boy Tarful. Everyone knows you need Relicate Wookiees for the mission on Kashyyyk.
Gosh. I mean, at one point, Relic 9 Wookiees can technically kill JMK. It's not the most solid thing, and I wouldn't suggest Relic 9 Wookiees. Anyways.
So in other words, guys, if this video gets 10,000 likes, Beaver is gonna Relic 9 as Wookiee.
I've fallen for this trap before, and I ended up in a maid costume. Absolutely not.
10,000 likes, and Beaver Relic 9s as Wookiees.
Okay, well, fix your damn roster. We're just gonna leave it real brief, just because this was a weird one. Like, I was gonna like cut this one from the podcast for today, just because we had a lot to go through. But like this one, I saw in like every roster today. If you have Bo-Katan Mandalore, I'm begging you, get Baby Bo up. This is like, yeah,
it's
like
so important.
She does no damage. It's true. She does no damage on the team. Her daze and buff dispel is kind of nice, but literally this is all of it. You know, recovering 8% health and protection when Mommy Bo, when Mommy Mandalore uses her mass assist, that is an 88% recovery of health and protection for the whole team from this. Like, it is insane how much this does on this team. Keeps them alive. This is huge for this team. You need this Zeta and you need this character. Don't sleep on this character if you got Mommy Bo into your account.
And the first part of it where she's just giving you max protection. That's a 20% max protection for everybody on the team. It makes Paz so much tankier. Like it's dumb. Don't sleep on it.
And mixed with IG-12 where he's you know, sitting here and he's like, oh, for each light-side Mandalorian ally at the start of the battle, he gains 20% max health. And so he's doubling his max health and his protection, keeping him alive much longer by having both of those in there. So, yes.
You're missing a I know it doesn't seem that important, but you're missing an important piece of that team without original Bo.
Yeah. So, Baby Bo, get her up. Don't please. I'm begging. Fix your damn.
Do we want to go to our members' questions at this point?
Quick. We don't have any recent Star Wars news, like regular Star Wars news, like we usually jump into. But I did want to mention just a fun fact. I have been seeing little whispers of some interviews with a production designer from pre-Disney purchase, talking about how George Lucas had a show in the works that he wanted to do, and they had over 60 scripts that they were working with, trying to find a good script for it, and they found some good stuff, but like the production costs was looking like 50 million per episode. And so it would have been absolutely wild if they could get it going. And
that's crazy.
People were like adamant that like it would have shaken up Star Wars and made it so Disney could have never purchased it because it would have been too big. I don't know how much I believe that, because George Lucas was very adamant of like not doing a lot of new Star Wars content and talked a lot about not wanting to do more. He had plans in the works, but he wasn't really like pushing for any of them much. But I don't know, kind of an interesting thing. And then a little fun fact, the cost of production for Star Wars Episode 1 actually went over budget by a significant margin, speaking of production costs, because Liam Neeson was too tall for the sets. And so they had to redo a lot of sets to make it taller so that way he could fit in them. Anyways, fun facts, interesting speculation.
the other piece of Star Wars news we did, or I saw recently, I don't know if this is old news at this point, but it is confirmed that the Son is returning for Ahsoka Season 2, and that Sam Witwer is going to be playing him. So I am really excited for that. I've said before, Ahsoka Season 1, a lot of people find it boring. I think it's a great setup, and I'm excited for what Season 2 is going to bring. So.
Yeah, so for those of you, I don't have enough time to whip up like a photoshopped version of it. So Sam Witwer as the Son, you know, kind of like the baby from the Teletubbies.
Exactly.
You know? Yeah.
Yep.
Not at all the Mortis God, the
nope.
Son, you know. We're talking about
no, he's playing the Son,
the
in
literal
the sky.
Sun. Yeah,
and when they're on Tatooine, his face will be on screen twice.
Yes.
So, because he's playing all the Suns. We had a couple of members' questions. Beaver, I'm going to ask you this first one. Are we going to get fleet nodes in Conquest?
I will jump off a bridge. No.
Perfect.
We all hate Conquest already. Don't make it worse.
You mean Chore Quest? Yeah, no. If they put fleet nodes into Chore Quest, the only way I can maybe see that happening is as a sector boss.
Even then, like, locking out a player because they didn't farm fleets doesn't sound great.
Yeah, I think maybe here's the world where I could see it, is if this next era is really around a GL ship, then perhaps they want you to have that for Sector 5 or something like that. I don't know. I really, really don't think so. It sounds logistically and coding wise really hard to do, because how do your data disks then get applied in fleets? It just sounds like more work than it would be worth for them. So it doesn't generate revenue either.
With Conquest, where I am willing to spend money to be able to do it all in one day, and have been doing that for the last couple of months.
Yep.
And like, I'm upset right now that CG won't take my money and decided not to put the Energy Ascension or the Energy Calendar in the store this month. And so I have to play through Conquest piece by piece. And I'm like, I don't want to do this.
You know it's bad when there is a service out there that you can pay people to do your Conquest for you. That's when you know you've made a bad game mode.
That is crazy. No, that's not okay. Where is this, so that way I can make sure that I avoid it completely?
I'm not gonna promote that, but I'll let you find it. The next question was Gear 12 Plus soon. Will Captain Silvo make it harder to relic future characters? Beaver, I'll let you give the context for this.
Yeah, so this was something that we saw with Captain Silvo specifically. So usually on a character, we have a wonderful, character. Let's see, we have a Gear 12 somewhere in my account, I'm sure.
Yeah, I thought I saw Jedi Knight Guardian was Gear 12.
Here we go, Tarful.
So
you get 3 of these like smaller pieces that are easier to get, and then you get 3 major pieces that are harder to get because there's more that's involved to crafting them. With Silvo, there is 4 of these harder to get ones versus the normal 3, and we only get 2 of the easier ones. And so people are worried this is going to set a precedent that we're going to need more gear per character. It's entirely possible this could be a coding issue and they accidentally did this and they're just not going to fix it. We did see a coding issue when it came to Gear 12 once before, and that was with good old Boss Nass. They accidentally swapped one of his left side Gear 12 pieces that's easier to get and one of his right side Gear 12 pieces that's harder to get. On which sides they go. Sorry, these 2, my bad. I saw the bayonet and I'm like, I know the bayonet's supposed to be on the left side, but I didn't want to bother trying to like, what is that? But yeah, they swapped this on the Boss Nass Gear 12 and never fixed it. I hope this is just a coding issue. I'm going to drink my copium and hope it is, but it might set a precedent for this and make Gear 12s harder from here on out. There'll always be a bottleneck. I don't like this being a bottleneck, but
I don't think it's a coding issue.
If it's only for newer characters, I don't know.
I think this is going to be the case for new characters. I think this is the new norm. And then eventually they'll make it so it's 5 of them, and eventually it'll be 6. yeah, it's not that great. I don't like it that much, but of all of the ways they could make the bottleneck worse, this is not that bad in my opinion. They could have made the relic grind worse or something like that,
I
which
don't know.
would have hurt a lot more.
With the raid changes, the Gear 12 to Gear 13 doesn't nearly feel as bad, like, at all.
Yeah.
Like, I've kind of passively, I say kind of, I've actually passively by accident finished my Morgan Elsbeth and Great Mothers, as well as my Shin Hottie and Merrick, just like on the side through the raid system while I've been working on relic levels for my Leia.
Yeah. So when you get to a certain point in the game, the Gear 12 pieces are really not the big limiter for you. So this becoming a bigger bottleneck, I'm not too worried about it. Again, this could have been placed somewhere else, like somewhere in the relic tiers or something like that, and that would be way worse in my opinion. So if you got told at CG, hey, you got to make the bottleneck harder somewhere, and this is where you decided to put it, I think it's one of the best places you could have put it. So doesn't feel great, but it is what it is. We live with it. It's not anything I think to get our pitchforks out over.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just it's another thing, you know. That's about it. And the last one is just kind of. This is Andro, who we've played with on Marvel Rivals a couple times. How does it feel to be in the presence of the greatest
Marvel Rivals anymore?
317 Spider-Man player to ever exist? You say that like 317 Spider-Man players aren't the norm for Spider-Man players on Marvel Rivals?
You say it like it's not the norm for you.
Ouch. Ouch. Bro,
Spider-Man is one of the worst things I've ever seen in that game.
Dude, I've started popping off with Emma Frost. I feel pretty good at Emma Frost.
Well, there's a new mommy coming to that game, but anyways.
anyways.
I have a question that I have to ask to engage our audience. Beaver, you said I have to ask a question. Well, let me give you guys a question.
Before you give this question, hey, you. Stop fast forwarding.
You fast forwarded? Why'd you fast forward?
Yeah, go back. How dare you?
Wait, you're still here? No, go back. Okay, now you're back from actually watching the whole video? Okay, now go watch it a second time for punishment for trying to fast forward the first time. All right, now we can go with the question.
Now we can do the question.
That everyone needs to answer in the comments. I need every single person that watches this video. If this video has 1,000 views, I need 1,000 comments. All right, I want 100% comment rate. F, marry, kill. Marry, kill. Arnold, Scribe, and Beaver and Matt. You can't separate me and Beaver, okay? If you kill Beaver and me, you're killing both of us. Fucking Beaver and me, you're both of us, all right? I really want to know everyone's opinion. Beaver, what's your answer to this question?
I feel like both answering for, F as well as kill. If I choose myself, it's the same thing. Oh gosh, I think I gotta kill Beaver and Matt because, like, bruh, have you heard Scribe's voice? I want that to serenade me to sleep every single night. We're marrying Scribe, and like Arnold, I'm just curious, bro. Like, let's go for it.
You're curious what's under that Gucci robe.
Yeah. Under the Gucci sweats doesn't measure up.
Well, that's everything we have for.
Come on, no, you don't get to escape this. You get to answer the same thing.
I'm fucking Scribe. That's a beautiful man. I'm killing Arnold to take over the throne as the Kyber Emperor, and I'm gonna marry both of us.
Okay, so we're gonna head down to Vegas. We got something to take care of.
Yep. Next episode will be live from Las Vegas, Nevada.
Be there at our wedding. All of you are invited as groomsmen. or bridesmaids. Yes. Had to think about that one for a second.
Also, let us know who's the bride and who's the groom down in the comments. All right. That's everything we have for this week.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you for giving a damn. We'll see you in the next video.